Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Gamertag Radio.
All right, so we're live here at the Doom, the Dark Ages hands-on event, and we have here co-host of the show, Riana Manupena, and also guest of the show from Spawn on Me, we have Kahlief Adams. What's up?
Shout out to you on the tippy tie. What's up?
For the Boogie Down Bronx.
Boogie Down Bronx all day, every day. Yeah.
All day, and Paris' favorite cooker.
He murders chopped cheeses.
Oh wow! Anything you want to say to Paris though before we continue with the show?
Nothing that you can say in front of children.
Okay, well there you go. All right, so we got to play the game. We played actually 4 different levels, and the only one that we were allowed to capture was stage 4. But I just wanted to get to your thoughts playing Doom Dark Ages compared to the previous one. Have you played the older ones?
Yeah, I played through the other 2.
Yeah.
I mean, this game, everything that the team has talked about, Hugo and the rest of those folks, about the speed and the verticality of it and kind of being on a horizontal plane more as opposed to kind of up and down, which was what you did in some of the previous games, just feels really, really good. Like, speed is there. It feels like enemy density is there in a way that feels good and challenging. And, you know, for a game that is trying to reinvent itself again, it feels like they're really nailing a lot of the things they are trying to pull off with this game.
And it's still fast. There's so many different weapons. And one of my favorite weapons is this baby right here, the shield. Oh my God, you can do so many things. We'll talk about that in a few. But Riana, is this your first time playing Doom? Have you played the previous games or what?
I've had hands on previous Dooms, but never sat down and played through the whole thing. As most people who've heard my coverage know, I barely ever finish games. So
it's all good.
Even something as short as previous Dooms, they had my attention for a while, but I found them to be a little bit repetitive, and not in a bad way, just in a way if the skill ceiling is the only thing that's really keeping me coming back, then I tend to bounce off of things just because I'm a very limited time gamer, right? I don't have a ton of time to spend on games, so I have to move on to something else that's a little bit more juicy, I guess you could say, although there's a lot of juice in this game. Very gory. But
gory.
Something that I found really intriguing and something that I'm still thinking about even as we're sitting here after playing is the story. Surprisingly, the narrative is very intriguing. There's infighting among different factions. There's, this meta storyline where Doom Guy is being brainwashed and trying to fight this programming, and you're rooting for him to break out of it. But while he's under the programming, he's causing a lot of destruction to the good guys, which, collateral damage is a thing, sure, but it's just interesting. This pure seething hatred for the demons has changed the way you look at the character that you're used to playing in all these different iterations of Doom. So yeah, it got its hooks in me. Surprisingly, that's the thing that I'm the most excited to see more of.
I was a little curious, how this game is going to be compared to the previous ones, especially with the weapons and the music and just the vibe in general. It's up there. It's really up there. I could, for you, not Paris. Wow.
Wow.
For you, Kahlief.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
You don't all look alike, Danny Pena. Anyway, keep going.
But for you, Kahlief, how can for those that haven't had a chance to play the game, right?
Yeah.
Compare first, second, and third game. What do you compare this to?
I mean, I feel like this game is pulling in things from each one of those other titles and leveling those things up in a really smart way. It feels like, again, it was about, if you think about each of the other previous games, it was more about modes, weapons, and game design in terms of up and down. You're flying in the previous games. This is very much more grounded combat and feels more arena style in the ways you think of classic Doom. But it refines a lot of those things through the weapons, like the shield bash and the shield that you have. The just breadth and depth of the weapons that you wind up getting throughout, even in the small play session that we had today, various stuff that I'm not gonna spoil, but you'll see in the gameplay stuff that we all captured. But all of those pieces just feel like you're showing off this character. You made him empathetic, which was wild, that I didn't expect at all. But also it just feels like every moment felt special and also felt very distinct in the way that you're tackling fights. And that was something in the previous game, but it didn't feel as good and meaty in this one.
And I also I really enjoy the puzzles that it's in the game too, where you could use the shield and other abilities to use in the game that it wasn't previous in there. There was one part that was stuck. I think it was like maybe stage 2 where you throw the shield. Is it a shield? I'm trying to think if it was like LB or you throw the shield. You can either lift yourself up, will take you to like a certain area, or another one where you could use the shield to break like a different type of shields in there too, in order to open like certain doors. Like I really like that instead of just because the thing is about the first one, in my opinion, first one I felt was just shooting, melee, shoot, run, and that's it. Second one was that, but it was a lot of jumping, a lot of, right? This one, like you're right. This one has a combination of both games, plus more, which I think people are really gonna enjoy that, So
yeah, I think it's also really interesting to see so much.
No, not too close. There you go.
I think it's also really interesting to see so much exploration rewarded. Like there are secret areas and things that you can unlock by getting a key or breaking a shield with your spiky shield, and that is something I wasn't expecting. I don't know why, but I was just figured I'm just going to shoot a bunch of demons, which is fine. But it was even deeper than I expected. And I really like the way that when you're leaving an area, like, and at a point of no return, there's a notification that says there are secrets here you haven't found yet. Thank you, like for putting that in. Because again, as somebody who values their time when they're playing a game, I don't need you to tell me where they all are. I don't need like a path on the ground to show me how to get through everything. But just let me know there's something else to go back and see. And that was really considerate, I would say, of the devs. And something else that I think is really interesting that I also wasn't expecting was how rewarding the skill tree is. And how you collect currency and then you find upgrade points where you can, I think it's a shrine, where you can choose to either upgrade your gauntlet, your guns, or your shield, depending on your play style. And I found myself really shocked at what I liked doing in my combos. Like I wasn't expecting for that slicey shield to be my number one weapon.
You know what? I was doing the same exact thing. See, that's why we got married. No, but for real, like.
Yeah, I figured it would be a gun, right?
Yeah, because I was looking at it like, should I go with melee, shield, or what? And I was always going with the shield, in my opinion. Yeah, and it felt good after a while too, because I felt like I was getting attacked a lot, and I was blocked. At first, I wasn't sure if I should just block the whole time. So they gave me some tips, like, look, bro, just use a shield most of the time. In theory, yeah. I mean, there's gonna. Parry. Oh, parry. Sorry, yeah, and dodge. I did a lot of dodging too.
The skill tree stuff was really, really smart because I like the toggle that you can do. So you can do that throughout the game. Like it's not a thing that you have to just buy into that one thing and then you stick with it. You can swap those things out. I thought the difficulty sliders were really interesting too. I messed around a lot with that as a person who really likes to kind of like get my butt kicked in games like this. I was trying to figure out what that balance was, where you could make the enemies more, attack you a little bit more, or you can make the projectiles a little bit slower, so that you have to deal with those as opposed to kind of just like having the timing down. I think that's one of these games where everyone kind of gets the timing down once you have that understanding of like, oh, if I can block here or parry here, I know what to expect. But you can actually change that up too to make it harder for yourself, which I thought was really, really fun too. So I was like, oh. They weren't joking around when they said you can change this and make this exactly how you want in the ways you're thinking about the combat too and the difficulty. So that was really, really fun too.
Now, I played it normal difficulty. You guys went to like easy or more difficult for you guys?
I started off on the base difficulty and then changed the sliders up to make hits to me a little bit stronger and to make the enemies a little bit harder to kill.
How was that?
It felt good. I think you'll tweak it a lot depending upon when you understand what affects what. Because one of the questions I asked was, if I change the difficulty in terms of making the enemies more difficult, does that add more enemies or does that just make them harder to kill? And it makes them more difficult to kill as opposed to adding more enemies in the space. And I think that was smart. Like that was an interesting part of it too.
Now, out of all the enemies, which one was the one I was like, oh man, this is tough. I have to figure this thing out. I'll tell you mine's in a few, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if any of them were more tough than the others. I will say I was on baby mode, obviously. Obviously. And sorry. And I just want to eat the microphone. No, I was on baby mode, clearly. And I did find some difficult. I didn't die at all, which good, I only had a limited time to play. But I will say the enemies that maybe confounded me the most were when you first met the dudes with the big, huge shields, like the head-to-toe shields, because it was before I knew that you could superheat them and then smash them with the shield, the spiky shield. So I was trying to shoot him and nothing was happening. I was like, okay, great.
Was that the one that had like 2 different health?
No, you're thinking of the bull rider dudes.
Yeah, those were annoying.
Those were funny to me because
with the one with the shields all around.
Oh,
you didn't
I didn't see that.
So
they were a very basic bull rider, I guess I'll say. And what I liked about those is almost like it was like 2 stage enemies within the normal mods that you're fighting. Where if you do a certain combo that I had spec'd, where I shoot them or hit them enough, and then a purple ring shows up, and you do a special attack that disables the gunner, and he pops off and shoots out a bunch of ammo for you. And then I would focus on the animal that they were riding. I liked those the most because they were fun, because I was trying to time it, and sometimes depending on again what part of the game I was in and how far my skill tree was spec'd out, when I shot them it would ricochet and like hit other enemies, which was really cool combo that I liked a lot. Again, the shield combos are really fun. But yeah, I think the knights or whatever with the shield were maybe the most difficult because I just didn't understand them yet. But with every enemy in this game, once you get how to take them down, it's just a matter of prioritizing like who you see on your screen and how you need to approach them and like what order. And to your point, Ka, I really like the way that the difficulty doesn't just add more enemies to your screen, because the number of things that you're looking at any one time is a lot.
Yeah.
And I can see that being like almost too overwhelming to the point where it kind of loses that let me plan and execute my attack a little bit more thoughtfully if it was just a mob of people. Yeah. So I think they did a really good job with balancing all of that, even at the higher levels and the easier levels.
For me, when I started playing this game, I started thinking like Halo or other games, like, okay, reload. There is no reload.
Yeah, I was hitting the button.
But I had to get used.
I was hitting the button to reload all the time.
Yeah.
And like doing things like in the world, it's on a different button. And I was like, X.
Yeah, and I'm like,
no, that's not it.
This
it
is
just kept
Doom. This is
weapons.
Doom.
And I was like, no, it's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Now, one of
Bless you.
So the enemy that took me a while to figure out, because I just didn't know, because I was shooting. So there's one, is the same enemy that you're talking about, but this time it has shields all around. So you can shoot and nothing's gonna happen, but you have to kill his minions. So the more you kill it, there's like 2 bars on top. One is his health, which is red, and this purple. Purple is the amount of enemies that's around the area. Once you kill those enemies, then the shield disappears, then you can start attacking him. I was there forever, and everybody was looking at me, just wondering like this, because I'm shooting and I see the purple going down. I'm like, all right, I'm almost there, but I didn't realize it happens every time I kill like a minion.
And they reinforce the enemies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just getting long. I'm like, okay, this is taking forever, man. Yeah.
Are we able to talk about the other levels that we saw?
I thought we can.
Okay, I just triple checking because I was like,
I don't want to like spoil anything.
No. But I think
just enemy stuff,
I mean, we got a chance to see like multiple levels though that were very different in the way that they played. I was curious to hear.
Well, here what stood out to me is that big gigantic Atlas, and the other one was like a dragon or something was flying.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about that.
Let me
ask you about that. I prefer being on ground.
Atlan.
I prefer being on land, like just on the ground and shoot. Those to me was okay. Like it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything for me. Like,
sure.
It was just cool as an add-on. to be part of this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think we did see like shortened versions of these levels, so they're not
very short. It's not the full.
It's not the full level for all that stuff. But we'd already talked about. They had already talked about the kind of Ardian levels that you saw that were the big mech versions, the dragon levels where you're flying on the back of a dragon, which was super. Those are my favorite levels, actually.
Oh, really?
As a person who hates flying levels,
really,
it was one of my favorite levels.
I was thinking about Star Fox. The whole time.
I mean, but I'm happy you said that, because one, the reason I don't like flying levels is because the way you usually fly doesn't feel good, and they really nailed that part. I thought it was really smart. And then the second part of those levels, which I don't know if I want to spoil it, but it changes the way that you fight in those levels in a way that I think is really, really well done.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why those levels wound up becoming my favorites, because it's like you're doing something totally different that you would not think would be a part of a flying level in a game, which was really, really dope.
Yeah, I agree. The flying levels were fun, and I also don't usually enjoy them most of the time because they force tank controls on you, which they did not do here. So, haha, Brittany, who prefers tank controls. But what I really enjoyed about that switch up is that whether in the Atlan or you're flying the Ardian, like it feels like Doom did a mech or Doom did a dragon. And I say that as a non-Doom expert, but even if you're on the ground, if you're in a mech or if you're flying around, it's the same prioritization of enemy takedowns. It's the same like combos. It's the same awareness of what's going on in your environment, and it feels very seamless. And it's nice to break up the action by giving you different points of view of the enemies and what's going on in this really huge war. And I say war because it's really a two-sided fight. There's a lot of humans. There's tanks. There's other mechs. There's other stuff going on, and like the humans aren't just like getting mauled. Like they're fighting back too, and going back to that accidental collateral damage that you might be causing. But it's nice to see like other forces fight along with you, whether you're on the ground or they're in the mechs or you're flying the dragon, and you're working alongside an army. And it did give it a little bit of a different flavor, and breaking up the action that way, it was really refreshing, and it still felt like the same game the whole time.
Yeah, the part where I also enjoyed was finding the secret areas to find extra stuff. Like, you guys discover a lot of those? Because I was like, wait, this is a mistake. I'm going to the wrong area, but I discovered a hidden room or something like that. So how was your experience with that, finding areas? Was it a mistake, or you knew it was a hidden area?
A couple of them were mistakes for me because I showed up to this event late. I tried to get through it as quickly as I could, so I didn't do as much exploring as I usually would in a game. But I still found some stuff. And when you come to a door or a secret area, it's so obvious, right? It's big and glowing and it has a color. And it's like, you have to find the blue key. Like, okay, great. So I'm looking for a blue key. Yeah. So if I see something shiny and blue, like way over here, a few levels up, I'm like, okay, I know what I got to get to unlock this. And I like that. Telegraph it to me, please. Make it hard to get to, but don't make it hard to understand what I'm doing. And I think they struck that balance very, very beautifully. And I did find a couple, even though I was rushing through it. So it didn't feel like it took me too far out of the way or too far from the path of the main action. And there were still enemies there. There was still some platforming there. It was still interesting. It wasn't just like, okay, go off on the side and do something and, maybe it'll be worth it. It's like, no, there was a really cool upgrade there or a big box of gold or something. And I feel like they did a good job of making it worth my time.
What about you, Ka?
I mean, the secrets were those moments too of the like environmental puzzle secrets. I thought there was one reason I literally redid my session to go back to go find something that was one of those kind of environmental puzzles. Because I was like, it's going to drive me crazy if I leave this thing and I don't find it.
And you don't want to wait until the game comes out.
I was like, I need to just know if this is like important to do, because then I'll know for later on. But like that stuff was really smart. I want to really go back to a quick thing you talked about with the humans in the space. Like, I like the fact that they react to you. Like, they're shook.
Oh yeah, they're talking. They're waiting. They're like,
the Slayer just rolled in, and like they talk about it, and like it's not long. It's not like exposition, but it's like a really smart thing that the designers did of like, oh no, you are a person in this world that is not just like, oh, NPCs are just around you. I like the fact that they remark about that stuff, but like the secret level stuff was really, really fun and interesting to kind of do. It makes you want to go back and go check out those things because you can get upgrades from it, because you can get new things from it. So it makes you want to spend time with doing it. So they did a really good job with those.
What was your weapon of choice besides the shield?
I mean, you'll see it in the gameplay too, but like there's a mace gun.
Yeah.
You're literally shooting a mace from a weapon and impaling people on walls.
It hurts. Like enemy dies right away.
Yo.
I use that a lot towards the end.
They get mopped up real fast.
Yeah.
So that's dope. I love the energy weapons because the energy weapons are smart because they actually have a really important role in the gameplay with certain kinds of enemies. I thought that was really smart. And I like anything that you can shoot somebody and they just get stuck on a wall. Like, it's an impaler. And I'm like, anytime you do that, like, you got me. That's easy.
For me, I'm, again, so surprised by so many things in this gameplay. The shotgun. It's your starting weapon. It's the classic, right? You see him grab it in the cutscene in the trailer. But I, of course, moved to all the other weapons, and I like the shredder, your typical gun, right? Your typical long-range assault rifle. But the shotgun just felt good. I was really into the up-close fighting in this game, which again surprised the heck out of me. I am a range player, but I liked shooting them in the face really bad. I like doing the shield smash where you would like run up into a group and just like pummel all of them, and then any strays, just shotgun. That was very satisfying.
Yeah, I was using the shotgun a lot too, but honestly, I think the most out of all the weapons was the shield for me.
Yeah.
Where
The shield
you go,
for sure is number
yeah,
one.
where you hold R and it says, is it left trigger and then you use right trigger to attack.
Yes, that like a shield bash.
Like a shield bash.
Yeah.
I didn't even do any of that.
Really?
Really?
That was one of the main
You mean the
parts
one,
of the
where
game.
the one where you fly towards an enemy and do
Yeah.
it?
Like-
Okay. Yes.
So yeah, like okay, you could use also the shield to throw it. It's like this part where
Yeah.
the chain part.
Yes.
You could use, but that one you use the LB button to
Yes.
throw it. It's good because it slows down the environment
Yes.
for a little bit. But the one I'm talking about is L trigger.
Yes.
Hold it
Yes.
until it says you're allowed. I think it's like that, or is it backwards here? Where it tells you you're allowed to press R trigger.
Yes.
And it will go towards the enemy.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
I was far away, not too far, but like far enough. Like, okay, this is the right area for me to attack the enemy. So I was doing that a lot.
I was using that a lot to get to enemies who are above me, who are higher up, which I thought was really interesting, because usually you would need a way to swing to something or jump to something, and you don't do that with this. You just use your shield lunge to kind of go to stuff. Something I thought was really cool with the shield was there was an upgrade that I got that if you throw it at the enemies with the energy shields, it bounces between them. And you're like, bing, 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 bing. So you feel like Captain America almost a little bit, which was super dope. So like that stuff was like really, really fun for sure.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this game. Like I can't wait to play the full version of this. And we just got a sneak peek of it, just 4 levels, But I could definitely see myself playing this all the way. And look, I didn't really care much about the multiplayer they added in the second game.
Oh, I like that.
Didn't really care about it at all. I just played single player and that's it. So I'm excited. I can't wait to actually play the game. And you?
One last thing was sound design on this game is really good. Like,
Oh yeah.
as a
yeah.
person who loves to dig into stuff like that, like you feel like a big chunky dude stomping through like every level, and I thought that was really fun. I'm really excited for this thing. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, Ree?
Yeah, I'm, again, surprisingly so excited. It's shot to the top of my list, and I'm really interested to see where the story goes. Like, I know I'm #nerdy for narrative, but truly the intrigue and all of the different like ways that these groups and people are connecting, and you can tell they have history and there's beef that's like runs deep between some of them. Like, I actually care what they're doing, and I did not expect that. So I'm really excited to see where the story goes.
Now, console PC for you.
Probably console. I don't see
Console?
me playing this on PC, mostly because if I'm on PC, quote unquote, I'm on my Steam Deck, and I'm scared what this will do to my Steam Deck. We'll see. I'll try it, of course, but I'll probably be sitting on the couch and playing on my Xbox.
Ka? Because we both have the same monitor.
This is day one PC, baby.
Yes, yeah. Because
Day one PC.
I'm going ultra race tracing, Because I have a 4090, so
Yeah.
I'm going to go all out with that one.
With a widescreen, this thing is going to be so good
gonna
on
be
PC.
amazing.
I do want to see how this runs on console. I think they're going to optimize. I mean, it does a really good job of optimization on their games anyway. Like, as a person who loved the Rage series, you know, I know and Doom from all the other games, like, they do a really good job of putting stuff on console, but, like, it's got to be on PC.
It got to be.
Gotta be PC.
I just can't. I can imagine the whole ultra widescreen look of that, man. The field and the music. Put it all up and you're in there, man.
Yeah.
Well, just want to say thanks to, well, first of all, Ka, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Paris.
You know, thank you, Paris. Thank you, Paris. You changed a lot, Paris. And I heard you cook better now.
I'm much better. Much better cook. Much better everything.
Everything.
My baldness is better.
So, Ka, hopefully you're going to be joining us next time.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But anyways, no, I just want to say thanks, Ka. Promote your socials, your podcast. People go check it out. It's been over 10 years now for Spawn on Me.
Year 11. We're in year 11 now.
Yeah,
Spawn on Me is old. Spawn on Me has like almost a kid in junior high school at this point.
Almost a teenager.
Almost got to kick his ass out.
Yeah, almost.
But yeah, check out the show every Monday is when we drop new episodes. Always fantastic to rock with you and you as well. Always get a chance to see y'all and be at these events, and you know, more goodies coming for the rest of the year.
Hell yeah. And Ree, anything else you want to say before we wrap it up? It was fun. It was
a lot of fun. We
haven't done a sit down like this in a while.
Yeah, we haven't done a sit down like this in a while, and I don't make any promises, but I can see me making more videos about this game.
Oh.
So stay tuned.
All right, cool. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Shout out to Bethesda and 47PR for inviting us to this event. Can't wait to try it out, this game. You don't get cut. I know you're right next to the shield here.
Sharp.
All right, until next time, we're out.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.